There was a lesson that I learned a few years back, and ever since I learned it, it's become a deeply ingrained part of my psyche. It's basically become like a foundational pillar on how I choose to treat people and how I expect to be treated in return moving forward into my adulthood. Now, I crossed the barrier into my 30s, you know, and this is a lesson that I still see society at large hasn't learned, especially the young people. Everyone needs to learn and adopt this lesson, but the young people especially, I can see that you haven't learned it. That lesson being, people will make time for the things that they want. There's $1 million of cash, fine jewels, earth minerals on that table over there. And I said, you want it? Go get it. People will instantly walk over there and start stuffing their pockets, filling their shirts up. They'll go outside, go get a backpack. They'll go back up a Brinks truck to put everything in there because that's what they want. When people want something, you will put forth all the energy and effort to obtain it. But a lot of us have been in relationships, for example, romantic, business, but I'll stay on the romantic one for this one. Like we've been in romantic relationships where the other side isn't pulling their weight. And even before the relationship even starts, you text someone, you call someone, you try to FaceTime with them. They never pick up. They never text back. There's never a response. And I'm sorry. I don't care if you are a multi-millionaire. I don't care if you are a public figure. I don't care if you are running a country. I don't care if you are running a Fortune 500 company. I don't care. Nobody is that busy. Nobody. I have friends that are working on 3 side projects, side hustles, and we got time to play video games together. That person knows people that are working at Fortune 500 companies, and they can still allot an hour a day, a couple hours throughout the week to chop it up and network. You mean to tell me that when you just go home after work and you kick your feet up and watch TV, you don't have time to reply back? You don't have time to reply to a text message, a call, a FaceTime? You know what I'm saying? If I want to make plans with you, hey, yo, let's go out and get something to eat. You're too busy that you always, every time I try to make plans with you, oh, you're busy. I'm busy. You just say you don't want to spend time. It's just that simple. For the relationships that are ongoing, y'all been through your ups and downs, and you're saying that you want to do marriage counseling, relationship counseling, therapy, whatever. And, so let's do this. We'll start playing different little games that help us interact, that help us communicate better. And you buy the conversation decks. You plan date nights. You try to spice it up here and there, blah, 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 blah. But the other person isn't changing. You're making all the change and the other person isn't. Where's the balance in that relationship? Assuming a heterosexual relationship, the masculine and the feminine, they're not coming into unity. One side's being stubborn and one side's being pulled into it. Just like a Libra scale. If you're on one side of the scale, that scale's going to be pushed down and the other one's going to be up. That means you're not in balance. A Libra scale is supposed to be in balance, right? So especially in today's day and age, we live technically, we're supposed to be the most interconnected society. From our smartphones, our tablets, our computers, we can speak to Joe Schmo around the corner. We can speak to the dude down the street, down the other city, in the other state, the other country, and we can communicate with people across the planet. But yet, due to this level of accessibility, we now treat people as if they are discardable. You see what I'm saying? Disposable, rather. Oh, you're not going to give me everything that I've designed in this fantasy in my mind? Ugh, useless. And this is male and female. You see what I'm saying? Because we are a lost society, and we have a lot of young people that are growing up in broken homes. So therefore, their expectations, their scope on relationships is already skewed by default. Let alone if they have unhealed traumas, then that is now into the dating pool, and now these people with unhealed traumas have unrealistic expectations of people that they are trying to step into relationships with. And when you have expectations that simply cannot be reached, someone is always going to be disappointed. Whether that's the person with the high expectations or the person that is trying to meet them. It's simply not fair. So when you are actually going through the efforts and the person isn't meeting you halfway, why would you continue putting in all that work? And likewise, when you're putting in all the work and your energy isn't being reciprocated, then again, why would you put in all that work? If you are texting and communicating, you're trying to get that relationship started with someone, why would you continue to put in all that work with someone that is showing you that they don't want anything to do with you? They're showing you. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. If they're too busy week after week after week, they're too busy for you. Just like in the red pill alpha male manosphere stuff. When she says that she don't do all that freaky stuff and bada bing bada boom, she don't do that for you. You see what I'm saying? And you need to know when it's time to pick up your ball and go home. Stop wasting your energy on people that are not going to reciprocate it. But this isn't just with the relationships and stuff. This is also with jobs. I'll use a personal example. When I was applying for jobs before the one I landed now, it was for a job down in Florida. And, everything went well in the beginning. They called me. They scheduled a preliminary interview. We chopped it up. Everything seemed like it was cool. I did my part, followed up within 24 hours. And then a week later, I emailed them and said, hey, what's going on with the status? Give me some updates. Silence. So they already told me in the interview that they were going to be interviewing other people. So I was like, okay, cool. That's the game. No big deal. But the fact that they weren't replying to me weeks after my application, I'm showing you that I'm eager to work here and I'm willing to do what's needed to be done to fill the role, to fill this role and position. And y'all don't call me back, say less. I'm going to keep it pushing. They had the nerve to call me a month and a half later after I had reached out, say, hey, were you still interested in this position? Well, I'm not interesting enough for you guys for a month and a half worth of communication. Nah, I'm good. That's already showing me who you are. So the same way when a person shows you who they are, a company will show you who they are as well. You see what I'm saying? If you were this top-notch, the greatest in your field, they'd be throwing money at you, throwing benefits at you, throwing everything at you. But these people weren't. Now, I'm not saying. Now, you have to understand. Let's get into the balance of this, and I'm going to end it off on one very, very pivotal point as well. You have to understand, however, with this phrase, when you are in the self-development, when you're on the motivational, the self-improvement journey, you're growing and growing, you're growing as a person. You have to remember, though, that these phrases can be taken out of context, and some people can go too far with these as well. We love cutting people off. We love cutting people off that don't cultivate our energy, that don't bring some type of benefit to our world, to someone that I don't see a perfect benefit in, I don't see myself serving that much of a role in that person's life as well. So you tend to cut people off that are going to be energy vampires, leeches, or just a simple place where your energy isn't going to be reciprocated or appreciated, right? But just because this phrase exists does not mean that because someone told you no one time that they're never going to make the time for you. Hey, I really needed someone this one time. Dude, I'm in a different state. I can't come through and help you move. I'm literally not in the same city as we are right now. I'm sorry, I'm not busy. Oh, because you're not going to drop what you're doing and move cross country to help me move? You're useless to me. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? That's why you need to find the balance in what I'm saying. But with that balance, a lot of times we like to apply this to external things. You don't want to call me back. You don't want to text me. You don't want to make the time for me. You don't want to reciprocate my energy. Fine, I'm cutting you off. But this phrase applies internally as well. People make time for the things that they want. Don't you as the individual want things for yourself? Don't you want to lose some weight? Don't you want to gain some muscle? Don't you want to be a little bit healthier? Don't you want to be more knowledgeable in this new field? Don't you want to learn that language? Don't you want to learn how to fix a car? Don't you want to learn how to build a roof? Don't you want to learn all these things to make yourself better? Then what are you doing not doing anything towards that goal? If you are, let's just say you want to get physically fit, that means you have to exercise. If you are not working out, then what are you doing? If you're sitting down watching TV, eating snacks, watching Netflix, doing everything but working out, what are you making time for? People make time for the things that they want. And clearly you want to sit there and continue adding calories and giving yourself a big ass belly. That's what you want to do. By your actions, you're telling me that you want to continue being a fat slob. You want to continue hating yourself in the mirror. You want to continue, passing judgment and blame on other people because they don't like big guys, big girls, and whatever. No, you're not upholding your end of the bargain because you are not attributing your energy to what you want. You want to be fit? You want to fit into that dress? You want to look good in that undersized t-shirt? Okay, you got to do what you got to do. If you aren't making the steps, then you aren't making the times for the things that you want. And the universe and the world only reciprocates the energy that you are putting out. If you are not putting energy within yourself, then people around you will inevitably stop putting the energy into you. To the next one.